I'm Natalie, and today we are going to make one of my favorite travel-inspired recipes. This is an almost vegan Laab Moo. So Laab Moo is a pork dish served in Thailand. It's street food. You can serve it with noodles or rice. It's often referred to as a salad because it has so many herbs and greens in there. So I'm gonna serve mine today with noodles, and instead of pork, I'm going to be using tofu, and we're gonna do a little like ground tofu scramble thing with all the flavors of the pork, but without the pork. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna get our noodles started. I already have some water going here, and these are rice noodles, and they come in little nests like this. Usually do a nest or two per person. So I'm gonna make this for two, and I'm gonna make extra noodles that I'm like throwing everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 4 nests in here into boiling water for 3 minutes usually. It'll say on the package what yours are. They cook really, really quick. I'm just gonna let these soften, and then we'll come back to them. Okay, next stop, we're gonna get all of our greens and herbs prepared. So for this recipe, we are going to be using cilantro, green onions, limes, mint, and a shallot. So, first things first, peel this shallot off all the skin. I had used this in a different recipe earlier today, so I already had it halved like this. That's my little compost pile. This is 1/2 of a shallot. I'm going to use about half of that. So when this is all chopped up, it is going to be about 2 tablespoons. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. You see these? I kind of give them a quick rough chop. That's all you need. We are going to be mixing these in and sauteing them, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so for our green onions here, I'm going to take the very tips off, like this, you can see. And we're going to divide these into the white and green parts. So, they kind of fade in color here, you can see, but you can see where they get softer. And down here they're harder, and up here they're softer. So, like 2/3 of the way, these are the softer green parts. These are the more crispy white parts. So just divide those. And your white parts are going to be sliced pretty thin and added to your shallots. Just scooch those aside. I actually hear my noodles, so I'm gonna go check on them. And they are just a bubbling, and they're looking really soft. I'm just gonna kind of separate them, turn off the heat. Just let those continue to soften in the hot water while we finish the rest of our recipe. Next up, we are going to prepare the green parts. You can use the same cutting board, just move this over because you're gonna wanna use the onions and the shallots in a different part of the recipe than the softer greens. So I'm getting started with the cilantro. I'm gonna take the bottom half, which is the more harder stems, off. And then I'm going to mince up the softer leaves. It's okay if they're still a little leafy. That's about 1/4 cup or so. We have the tops from our 3 green onions, and I'm gonna slice these. scooch those over here with my soft greens. Now we're moving on to our mint. This is just spearmint. I'm going to remove the leaves from the stems. It's very fragrant. It's kind of nice, I think. Now for our mint, again, just a quick chop. Nothing fancy. Again, remember this is like a street food dish, so you can try and make it fancy, but you don't need to. All right, now we are going to move on to our tofu. So here I have about a pound or so of hard tofu. That is the best one to use for scrambling. You don't need to press it out or anything like you do normal tofu, because when we do the ground, the water's gonna cook out. So there's really no reason to do that ahead of time, unless you just want to. You can. So I'm gonna put this tofu into my skillet here, and we are just going to scramble it up. If you want, when you put it into the pan, you can just kind of break it a little bit, if that'll help you. We're gonna continue to break it with a spatula in the pan. For those of you that are curious, tofu is just soybeans mushed up. But like I said, if you want to use a meat, ground pork is what is traditionally used here. I'm gonna do this over a medium-high heat. And fun fact, moo, if you see that in Thai, means pork, not cow. So for those of you who didn't know, I learned that during my travels to Thailand, and I thought I would pass it along to you, this fun fact. The tofu kind of has a texture of like a scrambled egg, and it's really easy to work with. So you're basically just browning this, cooking out some of the water, and then we're gonna season it just like you would as if you were cooking with ground meat. While our tofu is doing its thing, it takes a few minutes to kind of just get a little bit more crispy, cooking out some of that water. Let's go ahead and make the salad. Really an herb salad. So like I said, we divided our soft greens from our shallots and other onions. So just scoop those into a bowl. Got our limes. Trick, this just helps juice them. If you just kind of press, you get more juice out of the lime. So just kind of roll them under your palm like this on the counter. Cut it in half. These are key limes, so they're pretty small, and I'm looking for about an ounce or so of juice. Squish this into here. Now, we're gonna move on to the fish sauce. If you follow me on stories, you know I recently went to the Asian market, and this is my favorite fish sauce brand, Squid. This is what makes our recipe not vegan. Fish sauce does have some fish in there. I have never found a good vegan substitute for fish sauce, so I like to use it. It's pretty stinky, but it is really what gives Thai flavor, like, it is Thai flavor. So I'll just do a couple shakes of this. You don't need much. That's why it comes out pretty slow. But it just gives you so much flavor. So, just gonna let that go. Okay, we're gonna set that aside. And now we are going to move back to our tofu. Scramble we got going on. I have about a teaspoon of vegetable oil that I'm going to add to the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and about a teaspoon of sugar. Thai food uses a lot of sugar, so that's kind of what gives it its thing. Here is some coriander powder for flavor. Just gonna do about, half a teaspoon or so of that. And I'm just gonna stir this all in together. This is what's gonna give my tofu a lot of its flavor. Okay, now that that is starting to brown up and the sugar is all melted in, we are going to add our aromatics, those being the bottoms of our green onions, the white parts, and the shallots. I'm just gonna mix these up. Okay, our tofu is ready. So now we're gonna plate this. Just grab a plate. I like one with a little bit of a rim to serve this on, just like this. I'm gonna grab some of my noodles and just put those right in the middle of the plate. And then I'm going to top it with my almost Laab Moo. Now we're going to finish it off with our salad. There should be some good juice in there. Like I said, this is so fresh. You can add vinegar, spice, garnish with more lime. Now, if you like spice, this has not been spiced yet, but Thai food tends to be very spicy. These are the red pepper flakes that are better for Thai food than the other red pepper flakes that you're used to using in American cooking. You can get these at pretty much any Asian supermarket, maybe even a regular supermarket. This is the brand that I use, but these are called like roasted crushed red chili, but you can see it's a little bit different than American. It is very spicy. So unlike red pepper flakes that aren't quite as spicy, these are super, super hot, so use with caution. I just add a tiny, tiny bit of these, and I like spice. So that's why it's taking me forever to get through this carton. I've had it for a really long time because it is spicy. So just beware, but it's great, and I love these things, but you only need a little bit. And now, here we have our almost vegan Laab Moo. You can head to natalieparamore.com and watch the full video and get the whole recipe, and I hope you enjoy making this.